Oops. Oh, yeah. Come on, baby. Let's go. Let's go. Wouldn't it be great if we could? Da-na-na-na-na, da-na-na-na-na-na. What's cracking, gang? How are you doing? Bienvenidos. Welcome to the show. Oh, no. Why is that happening? That's stupid things have happened. Hello, you wonderful, beautiful thing, you. This is the Meaningstream. Everybody's favorite stream that you get to hear MEANINGWAVE in, amongst other things. You know what I mean? It's very varied. Sometimes we have like crazy party streams. Sometimes we have even crazier party streams. Sometimes we hop in the time machine. You know, we be all over this place. We're doing all sorts of crazy, beautiful things, and getting down in the manner of Fonzies, of some wavy young Fonzies. You know what I mean? And maybe not young, maybe wavy immortal Fonzies. Immortal Fonzies. There you go. That's it. Anyway, I'm just switching things on. You know, things were on, then they weren't on. Sometimes life goes that way. Have you noticed? Sometimes things are on, then they're not on. But then you put them back on, and everything's okay. You know? You ever noticed that? I've noticed that. Do you know what? Today's a bonus. Are you aware? If you're locked in live, some of you are, some of you are not. At the time of this broadcast, today is an extra day, an unscheduled day, an unplanned day, a free day, brothers and sisters, a whole ass free day. And if that's not nice, I don't know what is, frankly. It's a miracle. You know what I mean? Make some noise if you are locked in live. And hey, maybe even if you're not, if you're on the replay somewhere across space and or time, also you should make some noise. Just sort of cheer. Open a window. Put your head out the window. Scream to the neighbors. You don't say anything about being mad as hell and not being able to take it anymore. How about, yay, great day, woo? That's a good one. You could put your head out the window and just go, great day, woo, like that. Great day, woo, because it is a great day, woo. By the way, I could have put the camera on, but is the camera not working? Why is nothing working? Oh, that's amazing. What a wonderful time to be alive it is. Happy, happy, joy, joy. Yes, he's here. There he is. Aki Tiene. Aki Tiene, Wave Lord in the house. Have no fear. We are here. You know what I mean? We getting down. You know what I mean? We getting down. Now, I got a song I want to play you first, but it's just downloading. That's how right up against the wire we are with these things sometimes. It's like right to the last minute. Putting things together for you to make things special, to make things exciting, to make things glorified, you know? And sometimes it works and sometimes it just doesn't work, does it? But that's fine. That's fine. You know, we get on regardless. So let's try it by doing it this way. Okay. Make some noise, you beautiful thing. Yeah! Here we go. Extra day. Tremendous. It's a tremendous extra day to be alive here at the peak of recorded. Tremendous extra days to be alive. Word around town, it's, what is it? It's 2024 AD. You know, and on the 4 years, you get an extra day. 30 days have September, April, June, and November. Word around town is all the rest have 31, excepting February clear, which has 28 days regular and 29 on each leap year. No one really knows what a leap year is, other than when they were trying to work things out. They had to like stick an extra day somewhere to make up for all the calculations, you know. Which means that once every 4 years, not only do the North American US Astartes Unidos Americans get an election, other weird esoteric shit happens. Like a whole ass day. Like a whole extra day, which is crazy when you think about it. There's a lot you can do in a day. A lot of shit can go down in a day. I mean, a day is that a whole day. That's a crazy thing to put on an unsuspecting population. But here we are with a whole ass unsuspecting day, and you know, that's pretty good. I feel pretty good about that. How do you feel about that? How do you feel about the extra day thing? Are you grateful? Are you glad? Has it made any difference whatsoever? Isn't it just a little bit odd when you think about it? The way we organize these things. And how about the fact that it's 2024 AD? So that makes you think, yeah, 2024. We've been around for about 2024 years. What about all the years before that? Talk about 1600 BC. It's a funny way of doing things, isn't it? So you count backwards from one bit, you go forwards from another bit. It gives you this distorted idea of where you are and who you are and how long you've been around and what you're up to. Why is it 2024 AD? I mean, in some calculations, if you're going back from the Babylonian or whatever it was, it's actually 5054 or something like that. That'd sound pretty futuristic, wouldn't it? Bloody hell, we're in the 5000s, imagine. But why only the 5000s? Why not go back to 10,000, 50,000? Why not more? Why? Just wander around unthinkingly, being like, yeah, it's 2024. Says who? Why? We got an extra day. Says who? Why? I was not consulted. Hello, Chad Comstock says, hello, Maz. Free Consciousness says, we live in the future. Well, we do. Chris Champagne says they mucked up the way time had been kept for centuries. Well, the problem is it's getting mucked up again. I was reading something about how clocks aren't right anymore. The main master clock they have at Greenwich Mean Time in London or whatever, it's off. It's off a bit, where actually the time is wrong again and no one's not quite sure what to do. What about these rocks? Look at these things. They get it. They know what to do. Does it even matter? Whose birthday is it? Someone's birthday. Happy birthday. Source Panda 29 says, I turned 10 today. MEANINGWAVE helps me feel young though. Hey, congratulations. Imagine being 10. Congratulations, you 10-year-old panda, you. Felicidades. Feliz cumpleaños. You made it. Imagine being 10 on a leap year. Wait a minute. Hang on. The fuck? How's it your birthday on February 29th? What happens on the other days? Whoa, that's mind-blowing. When's your... You don't have... So you only have a birthday once every 4 years. That's amazing. That's why you're 10. That's incredible. But no, what do you do on other years? Do you just not have a birthday, or do you have it on a day close? And which one do you choose and why? Do people respect it, or do they be like, it's not really a birthday, motherfucker? I know what people are like. People are not good to each other. I heard that in a demo of a MEANINGWAVE song just the other day. Anyway, I'll dedicate this to you.
Every day is a great day when you are here.
You hear that? You hear that? That's for you.
Every day is a great day when you are here.
Every day. It's a great day when you're here.
It's your most fortunate day. Every day is a great day when you are here.
Yeah, that's right.
Today is your most fortunate day.
You know, one of the things that revolutionary movements have to offer young people is a sense of romantic adventure. I mean, if you're working at 7-Eleven in a dead-end job and you're offered an adventure, the chance to demonstrate dramatically for a messianic cause, especially if you're young, that's going to call to something deep inside you and excite you, because everyone needs a higher purpose, and that longing can be addressed by romantically inclined ideologues, but there are better ways of addressing that longing, I believe, and there's tremendous adventure in doing something like telling the truth.
Tremendous.
There's tremendous adventure in doing something like telling the truth. There's tremendous adventure in doing something like telling the truth. There's tremendous adventure in doing something like telling the truth. There's tremendous adventure in doing something like telling the truth. There's a tremendous adventure in that. It's a demanding ethical striving, and it's a form of responsibility to pay attention to what you say and to only say things that you believe to be true. And there's insane adventure in that, because you have no idea what's going to happen if you do that. You entice people into adopting ethical responsibility by pointing out to them in story, and perhaps to the degree you're capable by example, that there isn't anything more interesting or meaningful that they could possibly do. There's
come on.
adventure in doing something like telling the truth.
telling the truth.
There's tremendous adventure in doing something like telling the truth.
Telling the truth.
There's tremendous adventure in doing something like telling the truth.
Telling the truth.
There's tremendous adventure in doing something like telling the truth.
Yeah.
And I think that's part of the reason that my books and lectures have proved popular. I'm making a case for some things, I suppose, that you might regard as obvious, at least when viewed from a certain perspective. When I was talking to large live audiences, I noted that one topic in particular would bring the audience to a dead silent halt constantly, and that was when I made a rhetorical case for the relationship between responsibility and meaning. And you need a meaning in life. You need a purpose to sustain you through the catastrophe of life, through the suffering of life. You need a meaning. It's not optional. And the deeper the meaning, the better. And it's definitely the case that people find that meaning primarily in the adoption of responsibility. And that case isn't being made well in our culture, especially not to young people. There's a hunger, a mass hunger for that idea. It's better than happiness, that meaning. It's deeper than happiness. Happiness is fleeting. There's tremendous adventure in doing something like telling the truth.
Telling the truth.
There's tremendous adventure in doing something like telling the truth. There's tremendous adventure in doing something like telling the truth. There's tremendous adventure in doing something like telling the truth.
Telling the truth, baby.
Don't give up. Don't let the world get you down. When it does get you down, get up and write what you want out of your life and don't fucking stop. You know what I'm saying? There ain't no vacations. Only with people with credit card debt take vacations. You get up every fucking day, you look in the mirror, you tell that mirror, I'm a bad motherfucker. And one way or another, I'm gonna make it fucking happen today. And guess what? If you keep writing it down, after a while, the power of the pen, you'll fucking believe it. Next thing you know, you'll be slinging dick like Kevin Spacey. You know what I'm saying? It's over. Oye, te tienen que mamar de la pinga. ¿Sabes por qué? Porque te ronca los cojones, that's why. You're part of the church, motherfuckers. I'm with you, you're with me. And they wanna be with us, but they can't. You know why? Because we're too real. We show up with no fucking stories, no fucking, you know. You're not gonna believe what happened. Oh my God, my inside, who gives a fuck, okay? We came to get down, we came to get down. Jump around, jump around, jump around, jump around. Jump, 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 jump and get down. Jump around, jump around. Jump, 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 jump and get down. Jump around, jump around. Jump, 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 jump and get down. Jump around, jump around. Jump, 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 jump and get down. Anyway, if your Uncle Joey telling you it's gonna be the best week of your life, alright? Whatever happened last week, bury it under the carpet. Just remember you gotta check on your skeletons from time to time. Or if not, they check on you, you follow me? Besides that, it's gonna be a new week. You get up tomorrow, you do 22 push-ups, and you tell the world to suck your dick.
Yeah! Tremendous! There's a tremendous adventure in doing something like telling the truth. There's a tremendous adventure in doing something like telling the truth. There's a tremendous adventure in doing something like telling the truth. Wow, huh? How about that? How about that to kick the show off? Boom. Now, I noticed something for the first time just now. That actually was from a mixtape. Man like Richard, what's up? 1 month of Richard, imagine that. Says, what a glorious day. Ain't it just? Big up Bleat Llama, thank you for the $5. It's tremendous. Tremendous. And what's crazy, right, is that song, what's the chorus? As a tremendous adventure in doing something like telling the truth. And I was putting together that mixtape, and it occurred to me that I had this bit of Joey Diaz. I save little bits of stuff, right, for use. Sometimes something's not necessarily like a whole song, it's like, I don't know, I just have lots of things that I want to use, you know, and I was like, I bet that would sound really good coming after this, and it'd be really unexpected. And the mixtape was called Coffee and Meaningwave, and it was a kind of like get up and get after it type of a mix to play in the morning, you know? And I thought, well, what better way to cap off the mix than Uncle Joey telling you to get after it? It didn't dawn on me because, Uncle Joey, one of his catchphrases is tremendous. You know what I mean? That's one of the words he says the most often. Apart from, he says, stay black. And he says, slinging dick like. Insert the thing that he's slinging dick like, you know what I mean? In that case, he said, slinging dick like Kevin Spacey. I don't know if that's a good idea. I don't know if that's the kind of dick I would advise to be slinging. I'd have to ask Tucker Carlson. But, you know what I mean? I was like, yeah, let me put that on there. And the fact that Jordan Peterson, in the very chorus, said the word tremendous didn't occur to me. That's what you call a synchronicity. And as I've told you many times, a synchronicity, when you see synchronicities, that means you're walking with Allah, right? You're walking with God. You're on the path. You're where you're supposed to be. You're doing what you're doing is the right things to be doing. You know what I mean? Big Bad Wolves in the house says, lol, axe Tom Hanks. I wouldn't advise talking to that guy. You might get put on some kind of a list. That's the kind of guy that at all times there's like 5 different people following him. And they're stationed in different buildings and stuff, and they all got snipers. Any given time of day, that guy's got multiple snipers on him just in case he says or starts to say some of the things that he knows. And they just go, you know what I mean? And just like pop that big head of his. You know what I mean? Anyway, we don't like the T word around here. I had to talk about this earlier for the first time in a long time. I had to talk about Tom Hanks. Tom Hanks, his disease, how it all occurred. I was talking to our homie of mine, that Island podcast we mentioned yesterday, And when all that Tom Hanks disease stuff was going on, my homie who ran the Island podcast, he was in China. So he had no fucking idea what was going on, because they don't tell you what's going on when you're in China. What's going on? He had no idea about what was happening with the old Tom Hanks disease and all that sort of business. Isn't that amazing? Dewey Evans says, stars of death. Has anyone ever had a star of death? I tried to get one once. I lived in Los Angeles. I tried to get one of them ones from the weed place that he was talking about. But like by the time I moved there, like he was talking about them stars of death in like the earlier episodes, I think, because I couldn't find a star of death. I lived off Melrose for a while. I walked up and down that joint. I went to every weed store I could find. None of them had a star of death. Probably for the best. I might have ended up, I might have ended up like Owen Benjamin. Not that that's necessarily bad. He seems very happy. He's got 700 children. He's got his own farm. He says whatever the heck he likes. You know what I mean? Could be worse. Now it comes to think of it, like the existence of Owen Benjamin, it's actually difficult to think of a better one, right? He's got his wife. She's always seems to be making him nice cakes and things. He's got 17,000 children. They're all geniuses. One of them plays the piano while riding a bicycle. And he somehow has time to spend like 9 hours a day on Twitter winding up everybody on Earth. Literally everybody on Earth gets wound up. He decided this week, because, people was dunking on that Rothschild being dead, that he was going to be nice about the Rothschild and talk about all his virtues. This upset all those people, Anyway, if you don't understand that reference, what happened is like Owen Benjamin is a comedian. He was like a relatively mainstream sort of comedian at the time, living in Los Angeles, being in TV shows and all that. And he went on Joey Diaz's show, and Joey Diaz gave him one of these stars of death. Now, these stars of death have got 250 milligrams of weed. I don't know what it is, how they measure weed. I'm not that much of a weed guy, to be honest, not as far as the mathematics is concerned. What they call it? Kilohertz? It's 250 joules? Yeah, it is milligrams. See, Big Bad Wolf got it. 250 milligrams of THC in it. You know what I mean? Venice Beach Dub Club says, I ate a half of one. What happened to you? I believe he gave one of these to Owen Benjamin. And Owen Benjamin thought it was all groovy. Bear in mind, one of Joey Diaz's things he likes to do is dose people and then see what happens. Not quite on the Irish Shafir level of giving. What did Irish Shafir give to that Bert Kreischer or whatever? Did he give him Molly or something? Anyway. These degenerate LA comedian types, they were just all drugging each other at that point in time. It was a beautiful moment in time. Podcasts had just been invented. Well, they hadn't. They were Adam Curry and Akira the Don invented podcasts back in like 99, 2000. But people in LA had just worked out that they existed. And so everyone had these podcasts, you know, and all the comedians had a podcast. So they got their podcast, they've got an hour or two to fill. So for a few years, they told all their stories, you know, and they had a bunch of stories. Joey Diaz got loads of great stories, you know. But even someone like Joey Diaz, after a few years, you've probably told all your stories, haven't you? So then they started resorting to doing things like drugging each other. For amusement, you know what I mean? Just for amusement, just like... And you know, the whole thing with Joey Diaz, his podcast, it was wonderful. But the whole dynamic was he had his producer, Lee, and his whole thing was he was constantly getting Lee really, really caned. So Lee would like fall asleep in the middle of a podcast or something, and Joey would think this was hilarious. Look at this mambo. And you know, poor Lee, he's supposed to be pressing the buttons and that, isn't he? But he's like that because Joey Diaz has given him 250 milligrams of THC. That's a lot. Anyway, he gave Owen Benjamin a bunch of some stuff, didn't he? And Owen Benjamin, just halfway through the podcast, just got up and wandered out and was not seen again for a long time. And then not long after that, he stopped being agreeable and started saying what he thought. And that got him kicked off of what was then Twitter very quickly, dropped by his agent, and kicked out of the entire Hollywood scene almost instantly. For saying stuff that's now very normal for people to say, but in 2016 people were scared, you know. Owen Benjamin had to go live out in the woods or something like that and build his own world, learn how to milk cows. You know, and he went down every single conspiracy rabbit hole known to man in public. See, a lot of time with conspiracy things, you do that privately, right? You do that yourself with your homies. When they invented the internet, you know, when I like in the late 90s, that's where I went, boom, straight in there. Went down every single one of those fucking things. And it was partly in public, I guess. I was writing a lot of blogs and stuff at the time, but like, it's different then. You could write about that sort of stuff and they didn't call you a Nazi. You know what I mean? People used to write about me in The Guardian and be like, oh yeah, he shares some wild conspiracy theories and he's a genius, and that was okay. At the single launch party for my single Oh What a Glorious Thing, we showed an Alex Jones documentary. Did you know that? He sent it me himself personally and signed the DVD. And The Guardian wrote it up and said it was great. Can't do that these days. Dewey says the episode with Theo Von on shrooms is the best. I don't know if I've seen that one. I've seen a lot of Joey Diaz. Venice Beach Dub Club, who took half of a Star of Death, whatever they're called, says, I got pretty nauseous. I can't get too high, but I can eat too much of a good thing. Huh? Wait, I can't get too high, but I can eat too much of a good thing. Those seem contradictory. Venice Beach Dub Club of Owen Benjamin, I think, says, why is he so angry if he's crushing? Is he angry? I don't know. When I see him, he's always just like being really mean about everybody and going, I'm a comedian, so it's funny. What else is going on? That was a whole deviation. Anyway, yeah, so that's what happened. I don't know why we went down that the hole. But yeah, what happened was all the comedians all got podcasts. They all told all their stories for a while, ran out of stories, then resorted to tricking each other and pulling pranks and drugging each other and stuff like that. Then a bunch of them got, so-called cancelled. Then Tom Hanks' disease came along and everybody left LA. And then what happened? They all started podcasts again? They've all still got podcasts, haven't they? Brendan Schaub flipped his trug. I saw that. You know that bloke who Joe Rogan told he had to stop fighting? He was a fighter and Joe Rogan gave him an intervention. And so he took that as a sign that he needed to do stand-up comedy for some reason. which is a crazy thing to do. It takes people decades to get any good at stand-up comedy, or even not very good at stand-up comedy in some people's cases. But this guy's like, right, all right, I can't do that anymore, so I'm going to do stand-up comedy. And then lots of people like hated on him, and he became famous for being hated on. And then he got famous for having a truck and walking people to his truck. And God is hilarious, you know what I mean? So this guy gets famous for truck-related stuff. I say truck because people say he pronounces it trug, right? But there's a video of him the other day trying to do donuts in his truck, and he flips his truck upside down, and he's videoed going upside down and flipping his truck. That's how you know there's a God, right? And God has a sense of humor, or it's a simulation, and that's the same thing. What's the difference? There ain't no way this guy flips his truck trying to do donuts. Dirk from Texas says, I wouldn't talk to someone again if I was Ghost. I don't think Van Benjamin did talk to him again. It took him a long time to get home. Days. Dewey Evans, Joey's podcast, Church of What's Happening Now. It's called episode 383. Is that the Theo one? Or is that another one? Church of What's Happening Now is a great podcast. Fantastic podcast. I used to run on the beach in Wales listening to that podcast for hours every day. I listened to one Joe Rogan podcast, right? And then and then I listened to another one, and Joey was the guest, and so then I just started listening to Joey's podcast. And I didn't listen to another Joe Rogan podcast for like a year and a half, because there was just so many Joey Diaz ones. And he's really funny. He's just a beautiful man. Telling all his stories of kidnapping people. He's just so lovable. He's the most lovable kidnapper. Armed kidnap, you know. He's really lovable with it, you know. Yeah! Anyway, make some noise for yourself. How are you? Hey, look, we got an extra day. Richard says we need to drug the like button. That's a good point. And kidnap the like button. Armed kidnap the like button. Have you done that yet? It's what you're supposed to do. Come on. Feeling good today. I went to CrossFit, and it was the easiest one ever. It was all cardio, you know. But I had lots of energy. Loads of energy. And I paced myself really well, you know. So it was, at the end of it, I didn't think I was going to die, or I wasn't wondering if I had died. Sometimes it's important to check if you've passed. Tim Sheaf said something about that earlier, and it's right. You got to check sometimes, because you might have, and you might not have even noticed. You just got to check in every once in a while. Am I still living? Yes. Hey, I was very proud of myself, you know, because there were some new people there, and they were having a right nightmare of it, you know. And it's nice to see how far you've come. It's nice when you see others as a mirror, you know. Angie Pullman says, leap day, does that mean burpees instead of push-ups? I did a lot of burpees today, but as far as us and you lot and in here, if you all want to do burpees today, that's a good idea. You know, leaping, that's smart. That's why I thought to play that bit of that Joey Diaz remix of the Jordan Peterson song at the beginning, because he talks about jumping around, which is close to leaping. That was tangential.
follow your bliss. I say follow your bliss and don't be afraid. Follow your bliss and don't be afraid. And doors will open where you didn't know they were going to be. Your bliss, where the deep sense of being informed, going where your body and soul want to go. When you have that feeling, then stay with it and don't let anyone throw you off. One fine evening, I was in my favorite restaurant. At a table was sitting a father, a mother, and a scrawny little boy, about 12 years old. The father says to the boy, "Drink your tomato juice." The boy says, "I don't want to." The father, with a louder voice, says, "Drink your tomato juice." And the mother says, "Don't make him do what he doesn't want to do." The father looks at her and he says, "He can't go through life doing what he wants to do. If he does only what he wants to do, he'll be dead. Look at me. I've never done the thing I wanted to in all my life." Follow your bliss.
Go!
Follow your bliss. I say follow your bliss and don't be afraid. Follow your bliss and don't be afraid. And doors will open where you didn't know they were going to be. A poet is one who's made a profession and a lifestyle.
Man like Venice Beach Dub Club.
That
Appreciate you, brother.
have to be concerned with other things. They get themselves involved in economic and other activities or get drafted into a war that isn't the one you're interested in. Most people living in that realm of occasional concerns, they all have the capacity that's waiting to be awakened. Well, we're having experiences all the time, which may, on occasion, render some sense of this. A little intuition of where your joy is. Grab it. No one can tell you what it's going to be.
Hey.
You've got to learn to recognize your own depths. Follow your bliss.
Hey.
Follow your bliss. Say follow your bliss and don't be afraid. Follow your bliss and don't be afraid. And doors will open where you didn't know they were going to be. It's miraculous. If you do follow your bliss, you perch yourself on a kind of track that has been there all the while waiting for you. And the life that you ought to be living is the one you're living somehow. When you can see it, you begin to deal with people who are in the field of your bliss. And they open doors to you right there, wherever you are. If you're following your bliss, follow your bliss. Follow your bliss. Say follow your bliss and don't be afraid. Follow your bliss and don't be afraid. And doors will open where you didn't know they were going to be. Follow your bliss. Follow your bliss. I say follow your bliss and don't be afraid. Follow your bliss and don't be afraid. And doors will open where you didn't know they were going to be.
Joseph Campbell, make some noise for. Make some noise for ceiling camera. Ceiling camera broke again and I fixed it again. It's easy, baby. I just climb up a ladder and poke it with a stick. But with my finger, that is. And look, today it's extra wide. Look at all this. It's done this extra wide thing. It's magical. I have no idea why or how it does what it does, but it keeps things interesting. That is known as a bird's eye view, for obvious reasons. Shouts out to Venice Beach Dub Club, just sent us $20 like a G. And with a sticker it says, thanks for being you. Isn't that nice? Thanks for being you. Hey, thanks for being you, Venice Beach Dub Club. Manic Piping Dark Frog says, people treating me like I can't get a tattoo by myself. What the fuck? Sometimes I just glance at the chat and it's ridiculous. Llama says, anyone see Cat Williams was on the JRE today? Yes, I did. Once the stream is over, I'm getting on the assault bike and listening to that. I considered waving it. I considered just like playing music while that was on because I want to listen to it and I want an excuse to listen to it. I did consider that, but I saw a clip of it and Joe Rogan had posted a clip of it, you know, and it was just Cat Williams explaining more about how he read thousands of books. Because he said, oh yeah, when I was a kid I read thousands of books, and people were like, yeah, bullshit, I don't believe you. I thought that was really weird because I also read thousands of books when I was a kid. It's pretty easy to read thousands of books when you're a kid. All you have to do is not have a television. That's it. I didn't have a television. Cat Williams didn't have a television. Cat Williams loved to read. I loved to read. I started reading when I was like 3. I read The Hobbit when I was 3. I read Lord of the Rings when I was like 6 or something like that. You know, but like I used to just read fucking shitloads of books, just like loads of books, because I really liked books, you know. And kids' books are relatively short anyway. It's not like all these books is you know, Ulysses. So you can actually read like a lot of books when you're a little kid. I used to go to the library every week. Cat Williams is talking about how he used to go to the library every day or something like that. I used to go every week, like once or twice a week. And I had a couple of different libraries I'd go to as well, so I could get multiple books out from multiple libraries, right? I'd have lots of books, and I'd be reading lots of books all the time. That's a very normal thing for a certain kind of person to do. So I totally believe Cat Williams because I too read a fucking load of books. Boom. How difficult can it be? What's weird, right, is how few of them I remember. And sometimes I have to kind of like do sort of meditation to try and take myself back to that time. Sometimes I'll do it with music, you know. I'll be like, because my dad used to get a new album every week. And he'd listen to that album really all week. He'd cane it, and then he'd get another new album. And, you know, he'd be driving me around, so I'd be listening to his album. So I can work out what albums were out at certain weeks in certain years, and then I can teleport back to that time by playing some of the deeper cuts off the album. Like, the less you've heard the song, the better that works as a time travel mechanism, you know. For example, there was a Waterboys album, and it just came on accident, like just randomly on Spotify, and one of the songs on it about Pan, the spirit of Pan, came on, and I was instantly teleported, being in the car with my dad. And I remember like looking at him, and he had his arm up on the window, and I remember seeing like the hairs on his arms and his hand, and thinking, that's crazy, I wonder if I'll have hair on my hand like when I'm old. And now I have hair on my hand in the exact same place he did, just like a tiny bit there, you know. But anyway, so yeah, you do that, and I was doing that, and I was like remembering bits of books that I used to read and stories that I completely forgotten. And it's kind of crazy if you've read a lot of books, because they become a part of you, and they become foundational in your being, and you're made of bits of those books and bits of those characters and conversations and strategies and circumstances and all sorts, and it's all in you and you don't even realize. And that's a very crazy thing to know. But yeah, anyway, Cat Williams on the JRE, and also JRE's back on YouTube in full. This is the first episode since the last Spotify deal, so that went quick, right? 10 million or whatever it was, boom, couple years back on YouTube in full. Incredible. Shouts out to brother Joseph, MEANINGWAVE superstar and all-round bad motherfucker. And shouts out to Cat Williams. He warned you all about Diddy. All this stuff that's coming out about Diddy that people have been knowing for a long ass time. And Cat Williams, he spoke about that in that interview at the beginning of the year, which really set the tone for the year, didn't it? Brutal honesty and the destruction of those that thought they were untouchable. You know what I mean? The crashing down to earth of the wicked. I remember him saying, he's like, because Diddy, you got to say no, because Diddy wants to party, and you got to tell him no, right? Or, you know, to protect your everything that needs protecting, you know what I mean? And that's very, very real. Shouts out to Cat Williams all day long. He's great. Vanity Speech Dub Club says, I listen to books and podcasts about 8 hours a day, probably. That's a good average. Chris Dumadorf says, he couldn't understand Little Women, lol. Who couldn't understand Little Women? Oh, did Cat Williams say that? I read Little Women. I really liked that book. I read all them books. It was, what was that? Louisa May Alcott. There was Little Women. There was Little Men, and then there was like Big Women and Big Men when they were growing up or something. I read all of them when I was like 8 or something. I read all of them joints, Anna Green Gables, all that shit. Iliank says, Akira, I really appreciate your stories and anecdotes. You're good company. Hey, you too. Appreciate you. Andrew Pullman says, the world is dynamic. Good times will always follow bad times, and the wicked will eventually fall. Yeah, they cascading right now. Oh. Diddy. It's interesting, like, you know, he changed his name from Puff Daddy, and British people used to laugh at that because Puff is slang for gay person, right? So a Puff Daddy, that's like the daddy of the gays. So people used to laugh at Puff Daddy in the UK about that, right? And then he changed his name to Diddy, and that was also funny. But like Diddy, I guess, was more of a question, and the answer was yeah, he did, and worse. Good God. He's responsible for MGK. People forget about that. That bloke who used to be a rapper, right? He was just like the white guy rapper, and he was always surrounded by black guys, and he wore a backwards snapback, and he had a receding hairline, and he was like, he looked like a little punk. He was a bit punk. He wore Converse. And then one day you see him, and he's got a hair transplant, and he's dating that lady from Transformers, and he's wearing like all pink stuff and like eyeliner and stuff. And that was basically a couple months after P. Diddy signed him. You gotta be careful out there, baby. There's just mosquitoes. Ha ha ha! Victory. Anyway, this is one of those streams, isn't it? Leyenda. Shouts out to Danika. Danika went to see Dune, and she did her review. I don't know if you've seen it, but Danika's Dune 2 review is up. You should check it out. And she opened it with an advert for the album. That was very cool. What album's that, you say? Well, Dune Wave Odyssey, of course. You know, don't you know? Dune Wave Odyssey. Shout out to the Diddy jokes in the chat.
Most believe that a satisfactory future requires a return to an idealized past. A past which never, in fact, existed. Most believe that a satisfactory future requires a return to an idealized past. A past which never, in fact, existed. Only fools prefer the past.
Only
fools prefer the past. Memory never recaptures reality. Memory reconstructs. All reconstructions change the original, becoming external frames of reference that inevitably fall short. How soothing it is to forget, and how dangerous. How tempting it is to raise high walls and keep out change. Right here in our own self-satisfied comfort. Most
Shouts out to that. What a great record. Dune Wave Odyssey. Dune Wave Odyssey is out now. This is great. If you haven't heard it, you should go listen to it. It's fantastic. Shouts out to Danika XX. You can get it on cassette and CD at meaningwave.com. Did you know that? You can. It's amazing. Absolutely incredible. The first Meaning Wave cassette and CD. I've normally got one around here, but I don't right now. I don't know where it is. Anyway, so I need to check in on the Discord. Hey, look, it's right there. That was crazy. Wow. That was amazing. I wasn't expecting it to be that set up. But yeah, okay, cool. So look, this is our Discord, right? Live streams. Look, you get announcements of live streams. Very useful. New releases, announcements of things like that. And people chatting. And suggesting things. Oh, that's that. I'm asking questions. People do chat. They chat generally. What is it with that stream not having its thumbnail? Isn't that weird? Akira answered your questions on stream, says Jason, about a question. That's nice, isn't it? People talking about stuff. Anyway, I meant to come here and ask some questions, answer some questions, didn't I? Although now I kind of want to look at the meme channel. Here's the meme channel. Wow, that's a lot of memes. There's so many memes. Okay, anyway. That one's too small for me to read from this direction. Very nice. Very good. Okay, let me answer some questions anyway, because they need answering. I mean, it's not right to have an Ask Akira channel and then not answer people's questions, is it? Where is it? There you go. All right. Questions. I answered some of these before, didn't I? Can you remember which ones of these I answered before, Jason? And could you tell them that I answered them already? But anyway, Akira the Dawn says, Wrath, is the Don't Bother Children When They're Skateboarding remix with another Brick in the Wall samples uploaded anywhere? I was craving that today and I can't remember which streams you've done it in, but it's fire. The answer is no. I think I answered this before anyway, but Jason can point a link to this broadcast for the answering of these questions. Yeah. Thanks, Jason. Anyway, no, it's not available anywhere apart from when I do it live on stream. When did I last do it on stream? Can anyone remember? It was relatively recent. But yeah, maybe the thing to do is to come along for a super request show and request it and then record it. That might be a thing to do. And one of these days I'll get around to doing it as a full remix. One day I will do that. I promise. I just one day. Dan's of 2009 says, have you considered Jacques Fresco as a source for some songs? You should send some stuff via the link tree or here in the Discord, Meaning Wave Suggestions. Hit that and it's got the link there and you can send a suggestion, including a link to something I can look at. I was in that this week, right? I was in it this week. I made 3 songs this week from stuff that was in that document of that spreadsheet of mine, which is partly generated from your suggestions. Did you know that? How about that? Fractal, what are the chances we get Mythos on Spotify? I would say the chances are good in this lifetime, not in the immediate future, but it's one of the many aims. But currently, no. Currently, it's Bandcamp and YouTube exclusive. A says, is there an estimated ETA for Meditations 2? Yes, there is. Meditations 2 is dropping on April 19th, and the first single is dropping on March 29th. And you might have heard it if you've listened to these streams, because we played it a few times on stream. And it's amazing. Everybody is in agreement that it is amazing, and the rest of the album is more amazing. So, and we're looking forward to starting to unveil that album more over the coming days and weeks, including letting you see the artwork, which is very great. Jason Eva will tell you in the chat about how great the artwork is, because he's seen it and he was very excited. Doobie. Basics is Akira the Dawn. Oh, snap. I just caught the 93 to Infinity instrumental on today's stream. Excellence from the crate, especially with Farside. Really nice. Thank you, Basic. I believe that was on our chillin' stream on Saturday, right? I think that was it. I played a bunch of that stuff. Those are the sorts of records I tag with golden. That's that golden hip-hop sound, and I tag them with the word golden. And some other words as well, but that's how I can summon those at will. I do love that era. All right, please pray for my soul. Says, Akira the Don, will you make hats for the icons of these video available on the Meaningwave store? I have need of such hats in that order. I think others may as well, in that order. So he wants a hat with the thumbnail. Oh, you mean the Meaningwave logo with David Goggins coming out of it? Is that what you're saying? You want a hat that's got that on it, and then you want a hat with Jocko's face like that, and then you want a hat with the shadow, and then you want a hat with Coffee and Meaningwave 3, or with Ray here, and then with that's just, and in that order. Are you trying to open a portal? Is this a spell that I'm not aware of? Are you trying to summon Cthulhu by activating something in this specific order that's incredibly specific? Specific. What did I say? Specific. Did I just say two different words? I'm freaking out now. Specific. Oh my gosh. Anyway, what kind of hat are you talking about here? We do have hats on the website. They're lovely. Let's have a look, shall we, at the hats and see how the whole hat situation works. All right, here's how the hat situation works. You go here. No, that didn't work. There you go. Okay. All right, so this is what you do. You go to meaningwave.com and you go to apparel and you go accessories. Okay, and that should work. And then that brings up, oh, look, accessories. Look, the lovely mug. These are some hats. Now, as you can see, these hats have got stitching. So you can't actually put any of those things on those hats. I wonder what kind of hat you mean. You mean like a trucker cap? What kind of hat do you think he means, chat? Or do you think we should not do it in case he's actually trying to open up a portal to the netherworld? You know what I mean? I don't know what he's up to. Please pray. Look, it's called Please Pray for My Soul. I mean, that's like a warning, you know what I mean? If you're on a date with someone and you're like, what's your name? They're like, please pray for my soul. You're like, And then if they were like, right, I need you to make a sequence of hats in this order, would you do it? I don't know if that's wise. Shouts out to the chat. Nightbot seems to be going mad out there. Good for him. Walking Wall Poet says, Cthulhu Hat Portal Magic is a short story waiting to be written. Please write it. And also, Jason Eva, please direct those questionnaires to this timestamp in the stream, or just this stream, and 50 minutes in, about 50 minutes in, because I think I was talking for 5 minutes or something then. Casey says, awesome spell. Link says, I'm still eating the macadamias I bought 2 months ago, only halfway through. I thought they were for squirrels. Big Bad Wolf said, JBP said this in regards to the last song, A Past Which Never Existed, I do believe. People compare us now to a hypothetical utopia that never existed. Yes, they do. Well, people do both, right? People simultaneously will yearn for a magical, reconstructed past, because memory is not photocopy, as some people seem to think, or as many of us do, but it's reconstructed, right? And particularly when you've got like the historical memory that's reconstructed via the winners, and they lie and shit like that, you know what I mean? So you got this combination of stuff. You've got your own rose-tinted spectacle reconstruction of the past, and then you've got the societal narrative that's written by the winners and the social engineers, you know what I mean? So obviously those are all bollocks. So that's bollocks, but then also there's the imagined terrible future, you know. People are always imagining some awful dystopian nightmare future type thing. Both of these things aren't real. And existing in either of these spaces is the cause of a great deal of unnecessary suffering. And, you know, I've had people in my own life and family killed by existing in those places. Both of them. Stupid places to be. You should be here. Now. Oasis said that. That was the title of their second album, I believe. Be here now. That, you know. I think that's good advice. You know, there's nowhere else I would rather be. And I do say that, and it's true. You know. This is the best place. Now. It's all there is. It's all there ever will be. Who could ask for more? We got a bonus day. Come on, we got a free day. Imagine that. Make some noise for a free day. Yeah! All right, shouts out to the Discord. Feel free to leave questions that need answering over that way, unless they're pertinent, in which case you could ask them right now. You know, I might see them. I might glance at the chat. Ooh. A question. Una pregunta.
When they could just mow a lawn. Why would anyone do drugs when they could just mow a lawn?
Matthew Morgan says, when was the first Meaningwave song released? Well, technically the first Meaningwave song I would probably say is Be a Plumber with Jordan Peterson, and that was released in 2017, I think. Jason Eva will have the answers to these things. Jason Eva.
Mow a lawn.
Anyway, the first one I believe was Be a Plumber, 2017, and then we sort of started Meaningwaving in earnest in 2018, February. We have, I don't know exactly how many songs. I've got 647. Shecky said 647. That's a great memory. I've got 647 here in my DJ library Meaningwave genre crate. That isn't all of them, though, because there are some that haven't been arranged correctly. And then there's a lot of stuff that's not yet been released. But as far as stuff that's been released, it's 640, 50, 60, something like that. Matthew Morgan's done some math, says, wow, so that's nearly a song a week for 7 years. Is that how that breaks down? Interesting. Richard says, I love this mix. Me too. This is very nostalgic for me. This reminds me of Texas. The short time I spent in Texas, I made this song because, I was mowing. I had a lawn in Texas. I used to mow it. So this song was about that. This is the feeling I had mowing that lawn. It would be very easy to get caught in a rose-tinted ooh about that place in Texas. And it was a lovely time we had, cut short as it was, truncated as it was. But that lawn was difficult, you know, it had grubs in it. And like they'd come up when it rained or whatever, and suddenly there'd be all these goddamn grubs, blessed grubs, you know.
Why would
I'd be trying to murk, and ant mounds and grubs, and I was constantly at war with this lawn that was just like full of creatures, you know. And my homie came around and he bought me all these plants from LA, and he drove them down and we planted them, and then the deer broke in that night and busted down the gate and then like ate the orange tree and all this stuff. Life is not a. Who was it who said? A guy I used to really like his writing. I can't remember his name right now. He was a British journalist. He used to write a column about basically just sort of getting drunk in Soho. Jeffrey Bernard, that was it. I remember him at the end of one column. He once said, they say life is not a box of chocolates, it's a box of shit. That made me laugh for some reason.
Why would anyone do drugs when they could just mow
along? People leave comments on this video very often saying, why not do both?
Why would anyone do drugs?
But they're two mutually exclusive. It's fair. Alec Moran says, wasn't there lawn problems for a while you were fighting against while there? I remember the deer eating the new trees. Yeah, there you go, see? That's what I just said. They did. The deer ate the trees, the grubs kept coming up and causing problems. Then I got this stuff from Home Depot or wherever it was to kill the grubs that someone in a taxi suggested that I get. But it ended up killing a load of other things, and like I woke up one day and my lawn was just full of the dead bodies of creatures, you know. There were these weird grub things like blue bottles or something that had like buried their young in the ground, and they all came up, all these dead carcasses.
When they could just...
It's hideous. You know, life really is suffering.
Why would anyone do drugs when they could just mow?
Alec Moran, appreciate his support. Sent $5 and says, I always said life is like a box of chocolates, but I always get the one filled with toothpaste or rubbish alcohol. Have you ever had those jelly beans? And it's my dad sent my son these for Christmas one time. And it's these jelly beans, and but some of them taste of sick, and you're not sure which is which. So like the yellow one, like will either taste of lemon, or it'll taste of sick, and the green one will either taste of apple, or it'll taste of grass, you know. And the brown one, you know, and so on and so it goes. You know, this is my father's idea of an amusing time. And Hercules actually really did enjoy this, but it traumatized me. Like I can't think about jelly beans anymore. Jelly beans have been ruined for me forever. I could never eat a jelly bean again, just in case it was one of those.
You want to make sure that you always inject novelty. It's what triggers memory. Because your brain will get bored of the sameness. So you need to trigger memory and attention.
Contrast is a way to get people to move from where they are to where you want them to be. You just say, well, it's much less expensive than this. So contrast is one of the most important buttons. Use contrast often. Hey, you don't want to be this bad. You could be over here. Repetition and simplicity. Our brains are just simple machines. Repetition and simplicity. Our brains are just simple machines. The more you repeat, the more the wiring gets solidified. Repetition and simplicity. Our brains are just simple machines. And repetition and simplicity. simplicity. Our brains.
Alan Moran says, they are gross, lol. I got the vomit one first try. I'm out of the jelly bean game.
Brains are just simple.
Yeah, me too.
The more you repeat, the more the wiring gets solidified. Repetition and simplicity.
Our brains are just simple machines.
And if you keep things simple, the brain can process it and deal with it. And if you keep things simple, the brain can process it and deal with it. If it's complicated, your brain has a tendency to just flush it out. Can't deal with it, flush it out. The fake because is a form of pseudo-logic. Sometimes you need to get people moving with a fake reason that doesn't even actually pass logical standards, but people don't need logical reasons. Just look at politics. People have incredibly different opinions, and many of them are smart. So if you've got smart people on opposite sides of basically every issue, you can see that they don't need real reasons. We're not a species that operates on real reasons. We just will take a fake reason, we'll take one we made up, we'll take a guess, we'll follow our friends. Once you understand that people don't need real reasons, it frees you. Because if you're locked in a little world at a lower level of awareness where you say, well, I'm not going to convince somebody unless I have a real reason. Sorry, that's not the reality any of us live in. Real reasons are good. If you have them, use them. But we don't need them. Real reasons are good. If you have them, use them. But we don't need them. Real reasons are good. If you have them, use them. But we don't need them. Once you know you don't need them and that reality can be authored, you're in better shape. Repetition and simplicity. Our brains are just simple machines. Repetition and simplicity. Our brains are just simple machines. The more you repeat, the more the wiring gets solidified. Repetition and simplicity. Our brains are just simple machines. Repetition and simplicity.
Makes noise for Scott Adams.
Repetition and simplicity.
What a great record this is. This is from the user interface for reality.
Wiring.
The user interface for reality. Repetition and simplicity. Our brains are just simple machines.
Simplicity. Our brains are just simple machines.
Yeah.
Repetition and simplicity.
Chris says, I always wondered, did Scott Adams insist on leaving the long lead-up setup to the interface list? I'm being curious.
Brains are just simple machines.
I don't actually understand that question.
The more the wiring.
Did he insist on leaving the long lead-up setup to the interface list? Yeah, I don't understand that question, I'm afraid.
Machines. Repetition and simplicity. Our brains are just simple machines.
Gotham.
Simplicity. Our brains are just simple.
I had a question, I can't see where it is. I can't know, it's gone.
Solidified.
Something about a car. I don't have a car.
Repetition and simplicity.
Right now.
Our brains are just.
My wife used to have a Saab when we lived in the UK.
Simplicity.
I have not yet learned to drive. How about that? Me and Norm MacDonald.
Our brains are just simple machines.
And I got three little brothers, and none of them could drive either because our parents didn't teach us to drive for some reason. But they've all learned to drive now. The last one, Marek, he apparently got his driving license last week. I'm the last one in my family that cannot drive.
Simplicity.
I say cannot drive. I went in a car once. I drove.
The more you repeat.
I was fine. You've got very good spatial awareness. I think it was my wife said to me.
Simplicity.
I said, of course I do. I've been playing Grand Theft Auto for years.
Repetition and simplicity.
Our brains are just simple machines.
Repetition and simplicity.
Yeah.
Our brains are just simple machines. The more you repeat, the more the wiring gets solidified. Repetition and simplicity. Our
People Brook says, and Michael Malice. Does he not drive neither?
Simplicity.
Shecky says, my daughter received her permit today. I am proud of her. I'm proud of it too.
Our brains are just simple machines.
Mowgli says, Akira in a taxi. You weren't driving, were you?
Solidified.
What are you chatting about?
Repetition and simplicity.
Amanda says, we've had 3 Saabs. Still have 2. Cars are cool.
Simplicity. Our Our brains are just simple machines.
Yeah, I want a monster truck.
In simplicity, our brains are just simple machines.
Had we stayed in Texas, my plan was to get one of them cyber trucks. You know? They're still not out, are they? Although my friend lives around that when he sent me a picture of one he saw in the wild, so I guess there's a couple.
Repetition and simplicity, our brains are just simple machines. Repetition and simplicity, our brains are just simple machines. The more you repeat, the more the wiring gets solidified. Repetition and simplicity, our brains are just simple machines.
Repetition and simplicity, our brains are just simple machines. Repetition and simplicity, our brains are just simple machines. The more you repeat, the more the wiring gets solidified. Repetition and simplicity, our brains are just simple machines.
Wow, what a beautiful record this is, huh?
Do you know who Akira the Dawn is?
Of course.
He's amazing.
I only desire the approval of a relatively small number of people who I respect. If they said to me, I think you're totally wrong on this, Douglas, then I'd listen. But when it's people who don't want me to do well, then of course I don't listen to them. It's one of the tools we all have to hone in our lives, to work out who wants us to do well, who wishes us well, and to listen to them, even if they're critical of us, and they will be at times, and to separate out those people from people who just, of course they don't want you to do well, and they hate you, hate everything about you, whatever. But I don't have much sympathy with public figures who say, I can't say what I think, I can't speak up, and all this sort of thing. If you're not going to now, when are you going to? If you're not going to in this life, what life are you expecting to come where you'll do it?
The person who doesn't stand with the mob, the person who doesn't go along with the mob, the person who refuses to walk with the crowd will feel better. The person who doesn't stand with the mob, the person who doesn't go along with the mob will achieve more in their lives, whatever that is, because they will have self-respect.
I'm comfortable as you can be in the end times, as everything's burning down and there's plagues of locusts coming our way. And I have the satisfaction of knowing that I'm not lying. But the problem with going along is that it demoralizes you. It makes you a smaller person inside. You will be demoralized because you'll know that you shouldn't have done that. And at some level you will think badly of yourself for having done it. You'll feel regretful, you'll feel cowardly, and it will affect your life in other ways. And the opposite is also true.
The person who doesn't stand with the mob, the person who doesn't go along with the mob, the person who refuses to walk with the crowd will feel better. The person who doesn't stand with the mob, the person who doesn't go along with the mob will achieve more in their lives, whatever that is, because they will have self-respect.
That's what totalitarian movements are crossing.
Nukes in the chat, let's go!
Was that you grind
nukes
down and make
there
to lies, because you will then be able to make them do anything. Václav Havel, great late Czech leader, cites the example of a greengrocer in Prague in the communist era in Eastern Europe, who has to put up in his window, like everyone else, a notice that says, "Workers of the world unite." And it's sent by party headquarters to all greengrocers, and you all have to hang it. Václav Havel says a number of things happen from this. The first thing is that, of course, that the greengrocer is showing to everyone that he is a party loyalist, and he wouldn't be able to operate as a business if he didn't do this thing. But it also hangs there every day as a sign of his subjugation. It's a little thing, but it hangs there as a sign of his subjugation. And it reminds him that he's not the man he could be. You think you're doing a little thing, but you're not. You are diminishing your soul by doing this. Because you know that you could be something more than the person who just has to hang whatever party headquarters tells you to hang this week.
The person who doesn't stand with the mob, the person who doesn't go along with the mob, the
international high five. Let me know where you are. If you had one extra day, what would you do with it? One extra day. Where you are, what would you do with your one extra day? Come on. Douglas Murray, a Meaningwave Britpop classic. Man like Gotham says, if I had an extra day, I'd just spend it with my goof. A man dances in Kansas, doing what I'm doing, spending my extra day with all of you. Use. Nice enough. Jason Eva, PH, Philippines, another extra day to enjoy these streams. Ain't that right? That ain't nice, I don't know what it is. Baltimore Park, Virginia. I'd spend extra time with my family. House full of love, a thing to be earned. It really is. Cannot be bought. Diddy knows that. Big Bad Wolf, Tucson, Arizona. Extra day to get started on March early. What's really weird, right, is that I saw that message and I read it as leg day. And there's nothing in there that looks anything like leg day. But for some reason, I thought that the word leg day was in there. Casey says, I walked in the snow. With this day, today. This random February 29th that you don't normally get. Dewey Evans, Newfoundland, I hug my family. Truth and justice. Hercules, I'm so proud of him today. We've been working on his pull-ups for the past week or so, right? He did 5. Real confident, like up, down, banded still, confident. Up, down, right? Didn't like drop, he measured down. Then he did a second set, and I joined him, you know, for them. And he got all excited, you know. He did 5, and he's like, "Dada, I'm gonna do 10." And he did. He bust out another 5. He's like so much stronger already. In just like a week and a half or something, his arms is getting like bigger and stuff. Very proud of that boy. Dewey Evans, Newfoundland, hug my family. Grand Delay, Indianapolis, spending the extra day on the righteous path. Saying no to the serpent. Exercise and re-listen to last night's stream. This ain't nice, I don't know what it is. Big Bad Wolf says, let's go! Alec, brother Morand in Michigan. Every day I wake up is a great day. Woo! I'm on my second life. Don't take shit for granted. Family over everything else. Exactly that. Exactly that. What the fuck? That camera's dead. Nope. I just pressed the wrong button. Hey! 3, 2, 1.
Do I have a message? Yes, I do. Here's my message. As scary as the world is, and it is merely a ride.
Happy birthday, Space Panda 2029.
It is merely a ride.
229.
It thrills, it has its chills, it has its ups, it has its downs. And some people have known it. We think it's real because that's how powerful our minds are, but it's not. It's a ride. Some people have known it and they've come here and told us it's just a ride. We kill those people. Because we love the fucking ride. But it's just a ride. Since you know it, some people are tired of the ups and downs and the thrills and chills and prefer instead quiet. They have to be told it's just a ride.
Look for the madness necessities, the simple bare necessities. Forget about your worries and your strife.
Oh yeah.
I mean the bare necessities are Mother Nature's recipes that bring the bare necessities of life. Wherever I wander, wherever I roam, I couldn't be found off my big home. The bees are buzzing in the tree to make some honey just for me. When you look under the rocks and plants and take a glance at the fancy ants, then maybe try a few. Do it! The bare necessities of life will come to you. They'll come to you.
Ah, yeah.
All I need is the love of my crew. The whole industry can hate me, I thug my way through it. All I need is a chick to hold a jammy like Meth and Mary like Marvin and Tammy. Now understands we can't be stopped from blowing with some sweets out of candy drops. Like we underground kings, riding dirty. A nigga been focused since I said hi to 30.
Are they sweet as a nut, sweet like Tropicana? When the hammer hits your head, splits like banana. You're not ready for this flow, you better send your best soldiers. This is Captain Rascal. More destructive and troublesome than ever. I'll probably be doing this, probably forever. Fellas wanna stop me, don't probably come together. It's probable they'll stop me, probably never.
All I need is a high price lawyer, cause
There's Balloo behind me just then.
it's everybody saw you and it coming.
I swear I saw it.
I thought you knew, can't even steal on a nigga. Motherfuckers are soup.
The bare necessities of life will come to you. They'll come to you. Ah, yeah.
ATD20 is the shit. Are you listening to this? I said it's the shit.
Oh yeah!
I love making mixtapes.
I didn't care though. I felt so damn happy all of a sudden. The way old Phoebe kept going around and around. It was damn near falling. I felt so damn happy. If you want to know the truth. I don't know why.
Man, Space Panda, what's up?
So damn.
It's $10 for my 10th birthday. Akira's got clout. That's nice, isn't it? When you send someone else a birthday present on your birthday. Hey, happy birthday. I'm going to dedicate this to you.
Nice. The way she kept going around and around. If you want to know the truth. I don't know why. It was so damn nice. The way she kept going around and around.
Oh man, this is really lovely.
Look for the bare necessities,
the simple bare necessities. Forget about your worries and your strife. I mean the bare necessities. That's why a bear can rest at ease with just the bare necessities of life. Yeah, with just the bare necessities of life.
Bare Necessities with Jay-Z, Dizzee, Rascal, and Balloo. From Akira the Don there. That was from ATD25, a mixtape I did in about 2008, I think it was. Bill Hicks on the intro there. That still sounds fresh as a daisy, doesn't it, huh?
See, ours is not the first by George good government to arise on the world stage. There have been several.
Ah, yeah.
Spain and Greece and China, and each enjoyed about 150 years at its zenith. That's just about our time in the New World. And then each decayed away. Not one of them was ever destroyed by anybody else's marching legion. Each rotted away morally, socially, culturally, economically, simultaneously. You know, one of the most cruel paradoxes of history is this. Because each was a good government, it bore bountiful fruit. When it bore bountiful fruit, the people got fat. When they got fat, they got lazy. When they got lazy, they began to want to absolve themselves of personal responsibility and turn over to government to do for them things which traditionally they had been doing for themselves. First, there appears to be nothing to perform some extra service for you, but if you ask government for extra services, government, in order to perform its increasing function, has to get bigger, right? And as government gets bigger, in order to support its increasing size, it has to what? Tax the individual more, so the individual gets littler. And to collect the increased taxes requires more tax collectors, so the government gets bigger. In order to pay the additional tax collectors, it has to tax the individual more, so the government gets bigger, the individual gets littler. And the government gets bigger, the individual gets littler. So the government is all powerful. The individual is hardly anything at all. Good government. For bountiful fruit. When it bore bountiful fruit, the people got fat. And when they got fat, they got lazy. When they got lazy, they began to absolve themselves of personal responsibility and turn over to government to do for them things which traditionally they had been doing for themselves. Some feel that the need is for a vigorous, strong man to arise on the scene, to regulate the rich and empty affairs of men. Yet history tells us there have been several such. Once upon a time, there was a nation great and powerful and good. He was suffering from the aftermath of war, from a depression.
Yo, Nukes in the chat for Paul Harvey.
Idealist, self-confident, intolerant criticism.
That inside job.
His early activities to combating the financial depression, nobody could argue with that. But in a while, he began to regulate business and establish new rules to govern commerce and finance. Some of them in disagreement with the God-made laws of supply and demand, but anybody who disagreed with those new rules was promptly fired. The new leader saw that under the old system of free enterprise, landlords prospered, so he levied new taxes to take away their profits and destroy what he called the monopoly of capital. To please laborers, he controlled prices. To win the favor of the farmers, he gave them loans and subsidies. The national debt mounted alarmingly. Whenever anybody tried to tell him that governments, even as people can go broke when they spend beyond their income, they just didn't understand deficit finance. What do you say? Did he build on rock or on sand? I say on sand. I say on sand. Where you see, this was the story of Emperor Su-Tong-Po, who led China to its doom. More than 1,000. Because each was a good government, more bountiful fruit. When it bore bountiful fruit, the people got fat. And when they got fat, they got lazy. When they got lazy, they began to want to resolve themselves of personal responsibility and turn over to government to do for them. Do for them. Which traditionally they had been doing for themselves. Do for themselves. Hands of fruit, the people got fat. When they got fat, they got lazy. When they got lazy, they began to resolve themselves of personal responsibility. Government to do for them. Cassie's with that. I am satisfied with all my heart that if Uncle Sam ever does get whipped, here too, it will have been an inside job. It was internal decay, it was not external attack that destroyed the Roman Empire. Starting about 146 BC, internal conditions in Rome were characterized by a welter of class wars and conflicts, street brawls, corrupt governors, lack of personal integrity and moral responsibility, conflicts, street brawls, corrupt governors, lack of personal integrity and moral responsibility, conflicts, street brawls, corrupt governors, lack of personal integrity and moral responsibility, conflicts, street brawls, corrupt governors, lack of personal integrity and moral responsibility.
The fact that life is transient is part of its liveliness. The poets, in speaking of the transience of the world, always utter their best poetry. You know, our revels now are ended. These our actors, as I foretold you, are all spirits, and are melted into air. And like the baseless fabric of this vision, the cloud-capped towers, the gorgeous palaces, the solemn temples, the great earth itself, fie, all which it inherits will dissolve. And like this insubstantial pageant faded, leave not a wreck behind.
We are such stuff as dreams are made of. We are such stuff as dreams are made of. We are such stuff as dreams are made of. And our little life is rounded with a sleep. And said so well, it doesn't seem so bad after all, does it? You see, there's always in the poetry of evanescence a kind of funny nostalgia. Moralists will say, those lovely lips delight to kiss today will in a few years rot and disclose the grinning teeth of a skull. So what? The skull says, lying in the grass, chattering finch and waterfly are not merrier than I. Here among the flowers I lie, laughing everlastingly. No, I may not tell the best. Surely, friends, I could have guessed. Death was but the good king's jest. It was hid so carefully.
Psychologist, and I've spent 20 hours a week for 25 years listening to people tell me about their lives. And those people were people who were just barely hanging on to the bottom of the world, up to people who were so successful you can hardly believe it. Being a clinical psychologist, if you really listen, is like being immersed in a Dostoevsky novel all the time, you know, because it's amazing what people tell you if you listen to them, because they're so peculiar, like they're like penguins or rhinoceroses or ostriches, they're unlikely creatures.
Well, you got to improve, right? And you might think, well, I'm a real fixer-upper and I'm really embarrassed about that because there's 50 things wrong with me and like, look at that guy, and so now I feel all terrible because of the comparison and all of that. First of all, it's unfair, especially by the time you're about 30. Your life has become quite idiosyncratic. Let's say your life has 8 dimensions: family, friends, intimate relationships. You're individually positioned in all those dimensions. Your life isn't like anyone else's life. So you see someone who's doing better than you, it's like you're only seeing one dimension at one slice of time. So it's not reasonable. You don't have the whole picture. And then you get down on yourself and take the spirit out of yourself, and you get bitter and resentful. There's nothing good about that. But you do need to improve. There's not as much of you as there should be. So what's the comparison? Well, that's easy. Just say, okay, well, here's my position in time and space right now. Here's my virtues and fault. I can be a little bit better tomorrow in some minor way. Well, that's the right comparison, because you are very much like you. Everything's the same about you. Everything's the same about you. And so it's the perfect comparison. You just don't have insight into the tragedy of someone else's life. You might think, well, he's rich and successful. It's like, yeah, but you just don't know. You don't know what his relationship is with his wife or his children. You know, you don't know that he's gone through 2 divorces and his daughter won't talk to him and one of his kids is schizophrenic. And the point is, you should be better than you are, but it's not because you're worse than other people. It's because you're not everything you should be. And so you got to pick the comparison right. And then that's also ennobling and instantly hopeful. There is absolutely no doubt that you can be slightly better tomorrow than you are today. There is definitely something that you can do today that will make you slightly better for the next day. Always. Okay. You're 85, you have Alzheimer's, you know, you're done. sometimes you're done. Most of the time you're not, and most of the time there's something within your grasp that you could put right. See, that's the fundamental issue. It's like life is tragic. It's full of suffering and it's full of malevolence. There's no doubt about that. And it's brutal. It's more brutal than you can even imagine in some ways, or willing to imagine. But there's something you could put right. And we don't know what would happen if you put everything you could right, if you put it right. And then we don't know what would happen if everyone did that. But you can be certain that it would be less tragic and less malevolent. And so, like, you don't have anything better to do than
Listen to that for a while. That's great, huh? Compare yourself to who you were yesterday, not who somebody else is today, from 12 Rules for Life, which was the first Jordan Peterson Akira the Dawn album. And I remember writing to him, asking him if he would be cool with me doing that, and he was really funny response. I'll have to like dig it out one day, but it was kind of like, yeah, but what are you up to? Like, what is going on here? This is very strange, but I'm not sure if it's really good or not. It's hard to tell what's going on. It was very funny. Anyway, it feels like quite a long time ago now, but a still very, very relevant and useful message. Big Bad Wolf says, this track helped me among the other JBP Meaningwave songs. I had heard them before, but they didn't hit as heavy or grind in as hard as with the wave. Yeah, that's right. I mean, I agree. I had a similar experience.
Laughter or tears, haters, lovers, strangers with faces like the backs of thumbtacks, armies running through streets of blood, waving wine bottles, bayoneting, fucking virgins, or an old guy in a cheap room with a photograph of M. Monroe. There is a loneliness in this world so great that you can see it in a slow movement at the hands of a clock. People so tired, mutilated, either by love or no love. People are just not good to each other, one-on-one. The rich are not good to the rich. Poor are not good to the poor. We are afraid. Our educational system tells us that we can all be big-ass winners. It hasn't told us about the gutters, or the suicide, or the terror of one person aching in one place alone, untouched, unspoken to, watering a plant. People are not good to each other. People are not good to each other. I suppose they never will be. I suppose they never will be. People are not good to each other. People are not good to each other. I suppose they never will be. I suppose they never will be. I didn't ask them to be. But sometimes I think about it. The beads will swing, the clouds will cloud, and the killer will behead the child, like taking a bite out of an ice cream cone. Too much, too little, too fat, too thin, or nobody. More haters than lovers. People are not good to each other. Perhaps if they were, our deaths would not be so sad. Meanwhile, I look at young girls, stems, flowers of chance. There must be a way. Surely there must be a way we have not yet thought of. Who put this brain inside of me? It cries, it demands. It says there is a chance. It will not say no. People are not good to each other. People are not good to each other. I suppose they never will be. I suppose they never will be. People are not good to each other. People are not good to each other. I suppose they never will be. I suppose they never will be. I didn't ask them to be. But sometimes I think about it. But sometimes I think about it.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's crazy right there. Yo. Brother Moran just capped that at the perfect moment and finished that beautiful tragic song, which is a demo of something I've started working on this week, and just dropped 10 subs on the chat, proving that people are good to each other. Certainly around here in the Meaningwave Autonomous Zone, people are very good to each other. Carl Diamond, got one. Andy Travis, Nick Danielson, Nimbus, Demolition Daddy, Polo, Laid Back Noob. Yeah! What are you doing lurking in the chat, Hercules? Yatsuki Kenjiro and Daniel Johnson. Welcome one and all to the channel. You now have access to the emoji situation. If I suggest you drop nukes, you literally can in the form of emoji. You can also download the streams in video and audio form, and you can download the mixtapes for free. Enjoy. And thank you, Brother Morant. That what you just listened to just before was something I started working on this week. That's the first stage demo. That's how the very beginning of my writing process, which is sketching out the arrangement and the chord progression and the rough melody of the chorus, pretty much. So by the time that song is finished, it will sound completely different to that, and you'll be like, "Oh, I liked it best when it was just a guitar," because that's how it goes. So my apologies. Dewey says Alec gone mad with generosity, gratitude, and just general wave riding attributes.
Happiness is fleeting, and suffering requires a sustaining meaning. Happiness is fleeting.
Happiness is fleeting,
and suffering requires a sustaining meaning. That place where the meaning and the fact are conjoined. Yeah! That's the proper place to lecture from.
That's the proper place.
What you want to do as an academic is tell your students about something that you've encountered, that you've fallen in love with, and to communicate the love that you have for that. And not to say, well, you should read this book, but to say, well, here's this book, and here's what it can open up for you, and this is how it does it. This is what you'll gain from it. There's something in it that's of unbelievable utility, and you have to believe that in order to communicate. To communicate that commitment you have to beauty and to truth and to literature, it isn't enough to say what they are and to transmit them. It's to manifest yourself as a living part of that tradition, and to show yourself thereby as a model for living out what that tradition represents, and to show that that's so much better than like a short-term pleasure
truth-seeking nihilism. They're not even in the same conceptual universe. And people are far more open to that. They know already. People know, especially when they're hurt. They know that happiness is fleeting. And suffering requires the sustaining meaning. They know happiness is fleeting. And that suffering requires the sustaining meaning. King's Chapel, the people who started it didn't live to see its completion. They were driven by this nobility of transcendent vision, and they produced these enduring forms out of the bloody misery of history. We've erected all this spectacular infrastructure that we're so fortunate to be part of. None of that gratitude is taught. It's partly not taught because people have no sense of the absolute catastrophe of history. It's like nasty, brutish, and short. The simplest and most likely social circumstances. Catastrophe punctuated by hell. And to see that not happening in a sustained manner constantly, and to see things improving around us and to be reliable in that manner, and then not to be grateful for that, it's an unbelievable combination of ignorance, ingratitude, and willful blindness. And to not instill that sense in young people, for them to understand that they are standing on the bones of generations of people who suffered to make this possible, despite all their errors, and brought this forward. Happiness is fleeting. And suffering requires the sustaining meaning. They know happiness is fleeting. And that suffering requires the sustaining meaning. We could concentrate on building the future instead of criticizing the past. You start in the world, if you have some wisdom and some humility, by taking the potential that lies dormant in front of you and interacting with it in the logos-like manner, with truth and with love, and by transforming that potential into whatever you can create out of it that's good. It won't be small if you do that. You can transform your whole household by transforming your room. You can transform your whole neighborhood by transforming your house. And these things spread very, very rapidly. And that is right there in front of you. People think they're impoverished, that they don't have any opportunity. And the opportunity is hidden from them by their unwillingness to take the steps that are necessary to put what they could put in front of them in order, and to produce the beauty instead of the ugliness where they could do that. And I don't think there is anything more powerful than that. Works. Happiness is fleeting. Go. And suffering requires the sustaining meaning. We know happiness is fleeting. And suffering requires the sustaining meaning. Happiness is fleeting. And suffering requires the sustaining meaning. We know happiness is fleeting. Suffering requires sustaining meaning. Yeah! Yeah! That works! That works! That works! Nick's in the chat. JBP Fates emoji in the chat. You beautiful thing, you. Happy birthday, Space Panda. Suffering requires a sustaining meaning. Happiness is sweet, and suffering requires a sustaining meaning.
What up, Lady Lewis? It's a nice shirt. Akira, hey, thanks. What am I wearing? Oh, this. Oh, this old thing. Where's the truth of the matter? Meaningwave.com. Thank you for reminding me. I would have completely forgot. Meaningwave.com. This show is sponsored by Meaningwave.com. Okay. Let's ask our lady friend. No, not you.
Meaningwave, because music is everything.
Yeah, that too. And head on over to meaningwave.com and hey, you can get my shirt. Look how nice it is. There it is. It's the Meaningwave Cherry Blossom, designed by me, because I like cherry blossom. And you can get this in a t-shirt like what I'm wearing, a tank like what I wore to the gym yesterday, hoodie, sweatshirt, lady shirt, joggers in velvet and regular, and yoga lady leggings. That's what they're called, leggings. You get those. You could do that. You know, that would be wise. Meaningwave.com. Also, if you want to hit support Meaningwave, you could always hit resources and support Meaningwave. And you can support us there in the manner of you could join the PayPal. And that's nice. No, don't join the PayPal. Join the Patreon. You could send us a donation via PayPal. Or Bitcoin. You can send us a Bitcoin. I hear they're useful. Or an E for a do the Venmo or the Cash App thing. All of that is valid, you know. Meaningwave.com. Because happiness is the side effect of meaning. Isn't that nice? And, you know, tomorrow we're going to be here. And if you want to navigate over to the front of this channel, you know, if you hit that, hit me, hit my face. And if you go to live there, you'll see, oh, look, tomorrow, it's party stream. It's Friday tomorrow. We've got a party stream. Oh, cool. I want to be at that. Those things are legendary, and they always get yeeted off of YouTube. I would love to be at a party stream and be part of the party energy and part of the legendary situation that's a party stream. Look, there's already 2 people waiting. I'm going to hit notify me, you know, and then you hit notify me, and you might get notified. That'd be nice, wouldn't it? You know what I mean? Whoa! Yeah, make some noise for yourself.
Suffering requires the sustainability. Happiness is sweet. Suffering requires the sustainability. We know happiness is sweet. And suffering requires the sustainability. Happiness is sweet. And suffering requires the sustainability. We know happiness is sweet. And suffering requires the sustainability.
No one ever understands. You know what I mean? People commit suicide. People go, I don't understand why, and I go, you don't? Where you live in a cotton candy house or something? What the fuck? You don't know about life? How it only disappoints and gets worse and worse until it ends in a catastrophe.
Everyone who's lived knows that. And so to say, well, here's a balm for the suffering, and it's profound and deep, and here's what it's meant to me, and here's how you can incorporate it into your life. People are absolutely starving for that. Or dying of thirst for that.
There you go, brothers and sisters. That was a little bit of Norm at the end there. Make some noise for Norm McDonald. Oh, look, you already are. Look at all those bananas in the chat. lovely Norm MacDonald, for immortal, beautiful, beloved Norm MacDonald. Sway says, tell me you're a lobster without telling me you're a... Ow. Well, that was another beautiful stream, wasn't it? How about that? Isn't it amazing how it always just comes together in a moment of transcendent glory, no matter what weirdness, no matter what's been going on? We always seem to bring it together in a beautiful fashion. And, I'm proud of this community for many, many reasons, but that's one of them. We always manage to put together something beautiful, and that's beautiful, you know? So shout out to each and every one of you. Make some noise for yourself. Make some noise for yourself. We'll be back tomorrow, like I said. It's the P-A-R-T-Y. Mañana. Thank you to everyone who's been here tonight. Thank you to those of you who supported this stream. You cuties, Man Like Richard, Bleat Llama, Venice Beach Dub Club, who I believe has a single out possibly tomorrow. Is that true? I think I saw that somewhere. Alec Morand, Brother Morand. Happy birthday, Space Panda. We'll see you all tomorrow. It's the party! All right? And that's going to be dead exciting, you know. You know how we get down, party time, all that. And I'm excited, you know. It's the first party of March tomorrow. We did a whole, we're like banging through this year. It's crazy. Inching closer to Meditations Volume 2. And we'll talk more about all that tomorrow, all right? Thank you for being here, you beautiful things. Space Panda says, thank you for the gift. Felt like a private concert. Well, it is, isn't it? That's what these are. That's what these are. I don't know if anything... Does anyone else do this? Does this exist anywhere else? You can go see your favorite music person playing a show for you every night in a variety of amazing outfits. Incredible. Tomorrow, you beautiful things, kick the like in the nuts on the way out. Leave a comment, por favor. Open up a browser, go to meaningwave.com and get a cherry blossom shirt. And then all of you post a picture in the Discord of all of you wearing the cherry blossom shirt all at the same time, like a beautiful cherry blossom army, you know? Good night and God bless you, beautiful thing.